Thank you very much. Good morning and welcome to WriterGreg on Twitch.tv. Glad that you could all make it, and starting off a new series of Preptober and NaNoWriMo. We are here to get the work done and move forward with our goals 10 minutes at a time. Hello everybody, Not Like You Think, and Isaac and Tom. Thank you so much for being here and chatting so early in the morning. Now this is about half an hour earlier than my normal morning marches. This is, if this works, which I hope it does, if this works, this will be the new regular starting time, but I'm not sure. We'll see. This is kind of an impromptu. I was feeling good this morning and yesterday, and so I wanted to get back into the saddle and get working on writing and getting ready for NaNoWriMo 2020. And so that's what we are going to start doing today. We will be doing our regular writing sprints. Yes, I will be taking it easy. Thank you so much, Isaac. I've had, even though it's 5 o'clock in the morning, I did get a full 8 hours of sleep last night. So I'm feeling pretty good and just ready to get back in the saddle again. And we'll just see how this day goes, and we'll just go from there. So to let you know what we are going on, I had a new title card here earlier, and it is going to be Preptober and getting ready for NaNoWriMo 2020, and really excited to do that. Now, I'm going to be doing something I think that is important. And what I mean by important is I am going to follow a methodology of writing a novel to see if I like it and to see if it works with my style. Because I'm going to be trying to write my entire 2020 NaNoWriMo strictly following the snowflake method. Now, what's the snowflake method? Glad you asked. Here is on WriterGreg.com/writing-advice or writing advice. You just click the top. You will see some under my great articles. I have two. One is called The Writing a Perfect Scene, and the second is The Snowflake Method for Designing a Novel. Now, this is kind of a planter. Yes, not what you think. You use the snowflake method. Great. And that's what I'm going to try, because succeed or fail, I will have a lot of good work underneath my belt for NaNoWriMo, but I want to strictly follow the snowflake method just to make sure that I like it or hate it. I tried to do a complete by-the-pants discovery-written novel a couple years ago and failed miserably. But I was glad for the experience, because now I know I am not a pantser or a discovery writer. So I've tried the outlining before, and I like it, and it works really well for my short stories, but I haven't tried it for a full-length novel, and so that's what I'm going to be doing. So here, what I am going to be following is the 10 steps from the snowflake method and in designing a novel. And so that is what I'm going to be doing. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But this is step number 1, and I will be working on this all the way through the steps, hoping to complete the first 9 steps before November 1st. And that way, step 10, which is at this point, just sit down and start pounding out the first real draft. Okay, my goal then is to get the 9 steps completed before November 1st. So on November 1st is when I start step 10 and start pounding out the novel per NaNoWriMo. So that, in lieu of a thought of a day, that's just the introduction. But Since we're half hour early, I don't have my alarm set up, but let us get into the first sprint of the morning. It is a little bit, and I recognize that I didn't tell anyone I was streaming this morning. I didn't tell anyone that I was going to be starting half an hour earlier, because I waited to the last minute to see if I felt well enough to be able to do this. And you know what? I'm feeling pretty good right now. We'll see what I feel like in 3 hours or 2 hours. We're going to be going for 2 hours today. So let us go over here and let's get this first sprint of the morning going. There we are. Okay, so I will be working on step 1. I hope you guys all have something to work on as well as we turn the music up, we turn the microphone off, and we get ready for NaNoWriMo. See you in 10. And there we go, the end of the first sprint back. So good morning, Kidopoi, Delian, the Lady Writes. Thank you so much for the 10 bits. James Woodwright, thank you so much for everyone, for all of that. And so how did everybody do in the first sprint of the morning? Let's see. Go ahead and type your accomplishments in the words. Yes, James, you are going to be observing today, and you're setting up the first draft for Zone 1. Delian, thank you so much for the contribution to the 1 million lemon challenge. Yes, for those of you who may have missed my special announcement that I did last Saturday I had the high hopes of being back on Monday, but it didn't quite work out. Let me share with you my new vision of how the million lemon challenge will work, because I did not plan on taking a day off. See, figuring out my flash challenge article, deciding between a drink or a flaming Dr. Pepper type ritual. Unfortunately, I already did my homework today. I'm glad you got your homework done. Using the sprints to do some drawing. Oh, wonderful. That is good to hear. So, we have a couple minutes. I don't have alarms set up this early in the morning because I ran out of time this morning, but let me go to here and there we go. Okay, so what we have here, what we have down here is a new tracker that I have for the 1 million lemon challenge. And let me get it so it's not in my, there. So what I'm going to be doing is guaranteed we are going to do the stream. And we are definitely going to go moving forward in the 1 million lemon challenge, and we're going to do it. The question now is not, because before when I set it up, it was if we get 1 million, then I'll do the stream. It was very, it's happening or not. I'm changing that to it's going to happen, but the question is how long will it happen? So the more lemons that are contributed, the earlier the stream begins. So let's go and look at right now we are at 67. Okay, we are at 673075. All right, so that is how far we are. And if we look down in this little chart here, okay, so we crossed 666, 667. What a scary number. But we crossed that threshold of lemons, and so we will be starting the challenge at 8 o'clock in the morning local time, and then going to midnight. So we already have 2/3 of the challenge completed. And so what this means is that for every roughly 10,000 lemons, we will start 15 minutes early. So if we get the 1 million lemons, we will start the stream at midnight and go the full 24 hours. So this will honor those people who have given the lemons and have earned the right to have the 24-hour stream. But in case I don't stream enough to allow people to earn the lemons to be able to contribute, this will at least give the opportunity to have something rather than nothing. So that's what we're going to be doing going forward. So please contribute those lemons as we move forward. Okay, yeah, I'll save that. Okay, so let us get into another sprint. I don't have my alarm clock set for this early half hour, so we will go ahead and get that started. All right, so make sure that you save your works. Make sure that you are moving, counting down your words if you are going for a traditional word sprint. And let's get this started. Let's turn the music up. Ooh, loud. And we'll turn the microphone off, and I will see you in 10 minutes. All right. Sorry about that. Yes. Thank you, Word Slayer 2020 and James Woodwright for the contributions to the 1 Million Lemon Challenge. I do appreciate that. All right. So you'll need to forgive me as I sometimes have to clear my throat after being not talking for so long, but that is, just what it's going to be for the next week or so. I truly do hope that my lack of decongestion, there's a double negative for you. I do hope that doesn't cause any problems as we go forward. Okay. All right, so we do have 10 words for James Woodwright added to the Messenger article. Good. How did everyone else do this morning? Because, so the step 1 that I was working on is take an hour. That's crazy to me, but it says to take an hour and write a 1-sentence summary of your novel. Okay, I'm reading over here in step 1. And the sentence will serve you forever as the 10-second selling tool. This is the big picture, the analog of the big starting triangle in the snowflake picture. So that's, this thing right here, the big triangle. And, got a pose sketched. Now to figure out clothing. Good job, Isaac. Kit, as usual, getting kids into school. Well, thank you so much for being here, Kit. Yeah, Mike, we no longer have the morning commute here because we're all in isolation. Yay. All right, so this step does say take an hour to write a 15-sentence sentence. It's a 15-word sentence. And I just find that really distracting or difficult because okay, so I have 2 here because I'm trying, even though I want to follow the method strictly, I'm doubling up. And I think it'll make sense as I go along because we're getting ready for the next sprint here soon. A watchman and his castle wake up in the distant future to find themselves in the middle of a revolution. And there's the alarm that we all know and love. And the second one, a noble woman revolts against societal expectation as civil war tears her homeland apart. So I have 2 point of view characters, and that I think is the arc of their different stories. So we'll just keep going along and see if I can refine these and get step 1 going. So there is our sprint timer. So make sure that you save your work, make sure you get ready to go, and I'll turn the music up. Microphone's off. I'll see you in 10. And there is the end of the sprint. How is everybody doing with that this morning? I went back, and it feels like I'm just staring at this thing so much, but one thing I noticed here is the example in step 1 is a rogue physicist travels back in time to kill the Apostle Paul. There's a goal in there. Did not write, still setting up. Is a public square just one thing, or can it be a ring around something else like a building? For example, can a celebration square go around the arena? See, Isaac responds, a public square, at least to me, really doesn't surround anything. I agree. Buildings surround it. So an arena might make up one edge of the public square. Yeah. Oh no. Turned off your kid's computer when I was trying to move it and logged him out of his class. I'm sorry about that, kid. Oh. Oh yeah. Gotta love Zoom. You know, Gen Z might be renamed the Zoom generation with the way this year's going. So I'm looking here at my sentence, and the example that Randy provides in his article has a definite goal, and that was one thing that my sentences were missing reviewing about it. Maybe this is why you're supposed to take a whole hour on the sentence, is to really make you think about it. I think people call them Zoomers now. All right. Either I'm ahead of the curve or behind the 8 ball. Most likely the latter. So a watchman and his castle wake up in the distant future, determined to reestablish what once was, to find themselves at the cusp of a revolution. Oh, good. Your son's back on the class. Good. Yeah, it's almost... No, I forget what time zone you're in, Kit, but yeah, it's time for the Americans to start getting ready for school, or the Western Hemisphere. All right. Mushy Tangerine. I'm doing all right. I feel better than I sound. Still got a little bit of congestion. Oh, that's right, Florida. Yeah, so it is time for you to get back to school. So I'm a little bit congested. I have my water bottle, hoping not to sound too disgusting in the microphone. Oh, the lady writes. Thank you so much again for another set of bits. Yeah, the Eastern time zone for Florida, New York, the eastern seaboard of the United States, I think it's -5 UTC, depending on daylight savings and stuff like that. All right. So I may still think more about these 2 sentences. And the reason I'm doing 2 sentences is because I believe that I'm going to be writing 2 books that are intermingled together. And I'm going to have to make sure that the male and female protagonists of my story are well-rounded, have depth, and have excuse me, have that depth, and just to avoid cliche and stuff like that, I'm going to be plotting this as if it was his story and her story, so they both have the opportunity to get that good depth of character. So that's what I'm going to try to go for. Okay, so we do have another sprint coming up. Sprint number 4. So let's get this going. We'll start that off. All right, 10 minutes on the clock. We'll turn the music up. What should I address when talking about a zone of a city? And what should I talk about if the central one is zone 1? What do you find in it? People, places, things. That'd be my suggestion. All right. Music up, microphones off. I'll see you in 10. All right, there we go. Let's turn the music down. Good morning, everyone. Deslacat, good morning, and thank you, Siobhan. Welcome so much for the rating party. Do appreciate it. Dinosaur Bob, Siobhan, Slashkey, Aaron. Yes, I am back, I think. Yep, stay true. Yeah, Natalia Books, Slashkey, Kangatru? Kangatru? I'm not sure. Moondare. Welcome everyone. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. We are continuing our morning marches. I've got the ads. Oh. Yeah. Gotta love that pre-roll. Glad that you're able to make it, and hey, yeah, I'm back, and it's good to be back. It is good to get creative again, and kind of get that, get the creative muscles going. All right, Siobhan had 1,147 words last night, but still a productive stream. Hey, 4 digits. That is a productive stream. Good job. Okay, so to let everyone know what I am working on is I am working on Preptober, and I am using the snowflake method for designing a novel. And I am focusing on this in Google Hangout. If you're still on, I'll be back. If I'm not, see you soon. Okay, thanks, James. Have a great day. Okay, Aaron, you outlined a map in Incarnate. Good. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to strictly as I can follow the 10 steps of Snowflake method to see if it works well for me, because I can't, it's an experiment. Every book, every story is an experiment in process. And that's what I'm going to be focusing on, is to see if the process as defined by Randy Ingermanson is going to work for me, or if I need to change it slightly. So for the past hour, I have been working on step number 1, and I may need to do another sprint on this. I've written okay, let's see. Did I get a list of trades? I'm not sure what that means. I've got a storied outline as well. Yes. So my goal is between now and October 31st, before Halloween, is to complete the first 9 of the 10 steps in the Snowflake method. The 10th step is to write the novel. That's going to be in November. So my goal is to complete the first 9 steps before October. I have it's October 8th. Still got maybe 3 weeks to work on that. And that is what I am going to be focusing on in my streams, in my morning marches for the rest of the month. And so, whether you're plotting, you're writing, you're drawing, whatever you may be working on, that is awesome. Thanks, Kit, for contributing to the 1 million lemon challenge. Oh, James was in Coffee Quill stream a few days ago looking for jobs. Lemon drop. I have to go help with schoolwork. Okay, thank you so much, Kit. Have a good one. We will be here for roughly another hour for more sprints. And thank you, DM Stretch and Moondare, for contributing to the 1 million lemon challenge. We'll check at the end of the hour to see how our progress. Okay, Nathalia and 1 other contributed. Come on, tell me who. Nathalia Books, Aaron Ree, and 2 others contributed. Oh, come on, I want to do shout outs here. Okay, Siobhan and Isaac. I've never seen it combine like that. You must have pressed the enter key at the exact same time or something. Okay, so let's get this sprint going. All right, there we go. Time is ticking down. Let's turn the music up. Oh, we're all in sync. Exactly. Turn the music up, turning the microphone off. I will see you in 10 minutes. And there we go. That is the end of the 5th sprint, or the first sprint of the 2nd hour. How is everybody doing? And what were you able to accomplish in that last sprint? I have called a wrap on my step 1. I'm just going to say, you know what? I think we're good to go there. So let me just save the changes and take a look at what this document looks like. In the new tab. All right. So I do have my 1-sentence summary, but I have 3 1-sentence summaries, one from his point of view, one from her point of view, and one together. Hey, Coffee Quills. It is so nice to have you jump in and say hello and hey there. Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Very laggy. Yeah. Sure, I can run through the steps really quickly. If you go to the article, if you go to WriterGreg.com and you click Writing Advice, and then you will see the last link is the snowflake method for designing a novel. Step 1 is to write a 1-sentence summary of your book, and to take an hour to do that. I am feeling a little better. Still a little congested, but you know what? Got to keep moving forward. Got to carpe diem, seize the day. So that's what I did. Is I have 3 sentences, one from his point of view, the main male protagonist, one from her point of view, the main female protagonist, and then one that kind of combines the two together. And that's what I have set up here in my 1-sentence summary for the 3 of them. Now, the next one is to come up with a paragraph that describes the story. Again, taking the first sentence and expounding upon it into a 5-sentence summary. A background, the 3-act structure or the 3 disasters, and then how the story ends. Still buffering and lagging. Huh. Yeah, when I get buffering and lagging, I just refresh F5 the whole screen. It may give me another advertisement, but that's what I usually do. Okay, so there is the alarm for the next sprint. Let's get this going. All right. There we go. All right, the sprint is going. Let's turn the music up. We'll turn the microphone off, and we'll see you in 10. And there we go. How did everybody do on that sprint? We have 2 more sprints to work on this morning before we end at 7 o'clock local time. You know, I did this huge analysis of the NaNoWriMo novel I did in 2016, going through, figuring all the things out, and I realized that I only made it through the first act of my story. And so here I am trying to figure out Act 2 and Act 3 when I still wrote 53,000 words, but I only got through Act 1 of the story. So now I gotta figure out what's gonna happen with the rest of the story. Yes, just read the Snowflake article, Fractalizing Your Way to Completion. Very succinct and correct way to describe this. Yeah, and so I'm taking this from the triangle, which is the 1 step, and now turning it into a 6-sided star, and then we'll just keep going there. But yeah, that is the plan. And I'm just trying to figure out Act 2 and Act 3. That sounds like your last year. Okay, 53K words and only 1 act done. Exactly. Yeah. And so, yeah, just trying to figure out, and it's good now because to figure out what's going to be in Act 2 and 3 now, because that will it'll save time figuring it out now than later. I mean, better to fix any issues with the act structure now than after I've written it, which I already wrote it. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, so 100,000 more words and only now working on Act 3. Wow. That is a lot of words. How to figure this thing out as I fix my posture and my camera respectively. The second and third disasters should be caused by the protagonist's attempts to fix things. Things just get worse and worse. All right. Okay, there we go. There is the alarm for the next sprint. Let us get that going. I'm going to step out really quick at the beginning here, but I'll be back. All right. So let's turn the music up, turn the microphone off. I will see you in 10 minutes. there we go. At the end of that sprint. Thank you so much for being here, Moondare. Do appreciate that. All right, Dinosaur Bob asked a good question during the sprint. Are you doing this for one of your rewritten fairy tales or an original story? Both. What I'm doing is my short stories are rewritten fairy tales, and I am taking them from a different point of view. My novels are what happens after the fairy tale ends. And you've been background sprinting. Good job, Siobhan. So when I look back at this story here, let's go back up to step number 1. A watchman and his castle wake up in the distant future, determined to reestablish what once was, to find themselves at the cusp of a revolution. So, what fairy tale was there that had an entire castle fall asleep for 100 years? Sleeping Beauty. So my inciting incident of this novel is the events of the fairy tale told from the point of view of a castle watchman. So I'm not retelling the story of Sleeping Beauty. I will do that in maybe a short story in the future, but this is everything after Sleeping Beauty wakes up. What happens in the political structure of a country when your noble class all of a sudden disappears for 100 years and then tries to reassert itself after it all wakes up? And so that's what I'm exploring here in this story, is that watchman, a castle guard, is now thrust into this political intrigue and revolution, where you have the noble class that has been ruling for 100 years, but you also have the king who just showed up. The king disappeared, the nobles kind of took over and established a council kind of government, but then you have these revolutionaries, think French or American revolutionaries, who want more freedom. And then all of a sudden you throw the king and his entire castle back into the mix. So yes, the origin of the story is the Sleeping Beauty, but yet it is an original story told from the point of view of people who would have been considered background characters in the original fairy tale. So when I say a watchman no longer frozen in time, a noble woman trapped in history, will they stop the coming revolution or lead it? That's what the end of the story is the exploring why were they cursed, why were they trapped for so many years, who did it, and that. So kind of like a political thriller mystery with a nice thick slab of romance, and trying to just get that all together in a fantasy setting that was inspired by a fairy tale. So hopefully, Dinosaur Bob, that helps explain where I'm coming from, this story, and how to put it all in together. Because if it was just retelling the fairy tale, I would be able to have a better structure. But since the fairy tale is over at the beginning of my story, it's going to be, what's all of the repercussions from that. So yeah, I do think it is rather interesting, Isaac. And I'm looking forward to figuring out what happens, but just got to get taking the steps one at a time. So let's go ahead with our last sprint of the morning. Let's get the timer going. There we go. And yeah. All right. So I'm going to turn the music back up. I'll turn the microphone off, and I will see you in 10. All right, and there we go with the end of the last sprint of the morning. Looks like I have some more work that I'll need to do on step 2 of the snowflake method. So thank you so much for everyone who has joined me in this return. I will see, I felt good, went well. This went well. Hopefully, I'll be able to be back in the morning. We'll see how this day goes. I'm not 100%, but I do hope to be back here tomorrow morning. Moving forward, there will only be the one stream in the morning. There's not going to be any creative countdowns in the evening, because I just can't keep burning the candle at both ends. But with this stream now, I tried to have this 2 hours long so that we could, make up for that time. Yeah, make sure to take it easy and a day at a time. Yes. So, if things go well today, and if things continue as they are going, I'll be back tomorrow morning. Not fully committing to it, but we'll try to make it work so I can keep working on NaNoWriMo and Preptober. But thank you so much, everyone, who for all of the warm wishes, for all of the I just appreciate everyone, all the kind words that have been shared with me. So I will. Wow, how is Streamlabs? Wow, that's interesting. Okay. So you guys put in the hug command, Streamlabs responds. Okay, I'm just going, how does that work? Okay, thank you so much for the hugs. Thank you so much for being here. I do look forward to continuing working on this, but health does come first. So hopefully just make sure that you follow, subscribe, and I will put out the announcements when I go live, and we'll just take it a day at a time, and looking forward to it. So I think DM Stretch said he was going to take the hour after me as a member of the Anvilite Streamer Corps. Okay, I need to pause that. Okay, let's try to. I'm not seeing. Hey, DM Stretch, you still there? And he's here. I'm not. Okay, still. Maybe it's just not. Okay, there it worked. Okay. Yep. Well, that works. That does work. Okay. So let me type in the raid command and get that going. Okay, thank you so much for everyone for joining me. I do look forward to seeing everyone again, and just keep moving forward. And thank you so much. And I don't know what else to say, so I'll just say goodbye, and I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone.